this works. Hey, YouTube. Instagram's over here. It's probably a bunch of the same people. All right. How are we doing? We got pest control to my right. Hopefully it won't interfere with our workout today. How's everyone doing? Okay, I want to introduce myself really quickly because a lot of you we haven't chatted before yet, or there might be a ton of people that I know on here. Who knows? But my name is Madeline Conti. I live in Atlanta, Georgia. I am a strength and conditioning coach that fell in love with kettlebells a few years ago, and I have made it my entire life's work at this point. I have a program called a Kettle Club that has been so much fun to run over the past year, and it is one that was inspired by a class that I started a year before that. So coming out of COVID, I decided group fitness was going to be the way for me, which is funny. You wouldn't think group fitness would be the thing to do in a COVID environment, right? But I wanted to come up with a program that only used one kettlebell, and we could have 5 feet of space, and you can get your entire workout done. Coming out of that, obviously, I was like, wow, there's so much to do with a kettlebell. So I really dove in deep with that one. So let me talk to you guys about what we're going to do today. I'm going to turn this music down for a second. So, one sec. There we go. I'm playing SoundCloud rappers so that I don't get flagged for music. So we're doing a single kettlebell leg workout. I would suggest having a medium and a heavy bell at your disposal. I have a 10 kilo and a 12, but I also have a new 16 from Kettlebell Kings that was delivered like 2 days ago. So I am going to probably unpackage that one for a couple of the rounds. I'm going to place these a little closer. Sorry. There we go. I don't want to only be talking to Instagram. So we're going to start with mobility, and we're going to learn single kettlebell skills that will be involved in the complex that we're going to do for our workout portion of today. And then we're going to do the cool down and we'll call it a day. So let's get to it. Also, leave it in the comments if you can't see me or can't hear me, because I don't live stream too much. So I need y'all's help here, all right? We're going to start with mobility in a tabletop position. So come down to your mats if you've got one, or the carpet, hopefully not concrete floor. We're going to go through cat-cow. So we're tucking our pelvis, pressing away from the floor for cat, squeezing the shoulder blades down, arching the back, turning the pelvis up for cow. Go 5 times each direction. Really trying to get deep into your range for both cat and cow. I know I'm sore from my workouts the last few days, so this is great. We need it. After you've done 5, I want you to come up onto your knuckles, turn your palms in neutral, and bring your right foot around to the outside of your hand. From there, we're going to squeeze your knee into your shoulders. So you're going to feel your adductor tighten up, so the inner thigh. We're going to continue doing cat-cow. Cat's going to feel easy. Cow is not. It's going to expose tightness in the adductor and hamstring, which is what we want. We want to lean into that tension in this mobility portion because it's going to help relieve it. Keep checking in with that squeezing in. It's hard to do, especially if you haven't done it before. After 5 reps, switch sides. Again, squeezing the knee into the shoulder. We're up on our knuckles to give you a little bit more room to move. If you feel like you're not getting a stretch there, you can come down to your hands, and that should do it. That would mean that you're gumpy though, if you need to do that, because I'm telling you, this is not easy. Turning the pelvis up is very exposing. All right, after 5 on this left side, we're gonna switch again and then come upright into a tall half kneeling position. From here, I want you to put your hands on your hips and tuck your pelvis under. When we tuck the pelvis under, you're gonna feel that left glute squeeze. That's good, and you're gonna feel tightness in the TFL and quad. That's great. From there, we're gonna grab your foot if you can. If you can't, you can prop it up on a kettlebell behind you to do kind of an assisted couch stretch, all right? So we're getting into the quad and TFL. Again, it's a leg workout today. I wanna make sure that everything is feeling good before I get there. So whether you're holding your hand on your foot or you've got your foot propped up off the kettlebell, I want the foot to be just floating in the air without the assistance of anything. So if you're holding your foot with your hand, let your hand go. If your foot is on the kettlebell, curl it up. Either way, we're tucking our pelvis, we're using our hamstring to keep the foot up. It might cramp. Sensing cramps out there, bring it down. Repeat that 2 more times. So again, tuck the pelvis, re-squeeze the glute, curl the foot up, or let the hand go. And let's do it 1 more time. Retuck, squeeze, curl up. Come back down, and then we'll switch sides. I'll do this side with my hand holding to give you guys that option. So no sacrificing form. So if you feel like you have to arch your back to hold your foot, I'd rather you prop it up on something, okay? And again, we're gonna do 3 reps of this, holding the foot or propping it up and then having it floating in the air. Just getting the hamstrings activated. All right, very good. So even though it is a leg workout, we are gonna still get into the upper body with our mobility, because I fully believe in touching on these things every single day so that they can compound on themselves. So we're gonna come to a standing position, or you can do tall kneeling. Either way is fine. I'm gonna do this standing. Arms are gonna be straight out in front of me, and I'm gonna squeeze my shoulder blades down and back. So I'm depressing and retracting the shoulder blades. You're gonna feel your lats engaged. That's good, we wanna get there. We wanna remind our body of how to get there, which is the point of this. From that depressed and retracted position, we're now gonna reach forward. So protract your shoulder blades. Then we're gonna elevate them by shrugging, but keep them in the front. And then squeeze back, but keep them elevated. Then depress the shoulder blades again. Protract, elevate, retract. 1 more time this way, depress, protract, elevate, retract, down and back. Now we're gonna go the opposite direction. So we're keeping them back and shrugging up. Reaching forward, squeezing down, squeezing back. Up, forward, down, back. Up, forward, down, back. And from here, we are going to bring our arms like this, like Superman, exposing his Superman logo, okay? I want you to keep your hips tucked and hips square to the front of the room. And we're gonna rotate back to the left and extend your arm behind you. So I'm twisting my left hip forward as I'm reaching back, getting into my thoracic rotation, feeling the tightness in my oblique. From here, I'm going to depress the shoulder blade. I'm gonna do little lassos, little circles counterclockwise for 10, and then I'll go clockwise for 10. Again, driving that left hip forward the entire time against that rotation back. Come back to the front, reset here, repeat on the other side. 10 clockwise, 10 counterclockwise, and with each little rotation, I'm thinking of squeezing my shoulder blade down. So again, reminding myself of that scapula depression to get into the lat. Cool. Okay, just a few more things for mobility and then we'll get into it. So we're gonna get on the floor in a Superman position. So laying on your stomach prone, I'm gonna move my coffee. And we're gonna have our arms out in front, palms up. Ankles are gonna be flexed, toes on the floor. You're gonna lift your chest up off the ground, but keep your chin tucked. From there, we're gonna fly your arms back to your hips, go into internal rotation in your shoulders, so palms are gonna be up. Then fly around to the front. Palms will be up again because we're going into external rotation. If it helps, put your hands in a fist. It's gonna help you maybe get a little bit more tension in your arms and keep them locked out. Go 3 more each way, nice and slow. Can you guys tell that I'm obsessed with mobility and durability practice? It is the only way to be able to train every day. That's what I believe anyway. Injury-free, that is. Awesome. All right, arms are gonna go out to the side. I want you to bend your left knee, lift it up, and twist over for floor scorpion. And do one to the other side. Finally, we're gonna have supine twist. So pull one knee into your chest, arm out to the side, pull your knee across your body. Keep the shoulder on the floor. So only go as far as it'll let you. And let's do the other side. And it's time to work. Not that this wasn't work, but you know. All right, before we get into it, let me check the comments. Tell me where you guys are from. Any Atlanta people in here? Any East Coasters? I don't see any comments, just a bunch of people watching, but let me know where you're from and if you're doing the workout. All right, let's do it. So we're gonna get into some body weight single leg work first before we load it up. Our first thing is going to be a knee drive to a rear foot elevated split squat. I'm gonna use this very uncomfortable bench right here because I'm using my other one to stream on Instagram Live. In fact, I'm gonna bring this up a little bit. But it works because I'm not really gonna be putting any weight in that back foot. I am a big believer in it should be more of a hip hinge and keeping that front leg the working leg and just using the back one as a pivot and a balance point. So what we're gonna do is start in a single leg position. Move my new kettlebell. Single leg position in a knee drive. So I'm gonna knee drive with my right leg and stand on my left foot. I just want you to hold this for a few seconds. Think of squeezing the glute in the standing leg, staying totally locked out in that leg as well, and being really active in this knee drive leg. So knee is up at hip height. I'm flexing my ankle, getting my tibia engaged. From here, I'm gonna sink into this standing leg and start to hip hinge over this working leg. My chest is in line with my knee is in line with my toe. From here, I'm gonna kick this leg back to plant it on the bench. So I'm totally loaded over this leg. I got 45 degrees in every joint for the most part. That's good. We see that in sport a lot, so we wanna get there with this. And then you drive up and hopefully don't fall over like I did. Let's do 5 more reps, or 4 more reps on this side, 5 total, and then we'll switch to the other side. Again, I'm trying to not put too much weight in the back leg. And when this foot is planted on the back, the thigh should be on about the same plane. That's a very important part too, because if you're too far away, it's gonna pull you back onto the bench. So in order to stay totally loaded in that front leg, I wanna stand fairly close to the bench, but not too close. This is gonna work on balance, obviously. It's gonna work on foot strength, and it's really gonna activate everything in our legs, which is exactly what we want before loading them up. All right, when you get done with 5, switch sides. We're just doing this once. Don't worry, we're not gonna do mobility all day long. Woo. If Eric's watching, we have a lot of lunges today. I know you love that. After 5 reps, we are complete there. Next, I'm going to show you guys my literal favorite exercise for joint durability in your lower leg or in your lower body, but also just the best booty burner, and you'd never think it by watching it. So we're going to be in a long stance, very long stance. So my legs are like this, okay? Super long stance. Not so long that you can't tuck your pelvis. That is going to be a very important part here, but not so short that you can't do what I'm about to show you. So I'm going to be in a calf raise in the back leg. My feet are on train tracks, not a tightrope. Otherwise, I'm going to be falling over the entire time. So make sure they're about shoulder width apart. And what I'm going to do is drive forward over my front leg. So my knee is going past my toe. Chest is going over the knee. And I am in a straight line from my crown of my head to my heel, or really even my toe, because I am in a calf raise in the back. And then I'm gonna press back. Let's do 5 reps. If you stay rigid, if you load your chest over your knee and your toe, you will feel your quad and glute working really hard in this working leg, the front leg. The reason I'm pairing this with the other one and putting it second is because in that first exercise, our working leg stayed planted, and this one is too, but the working leg, we were already in it. This one, we're driving into it. So it's a little bit harder. Once you get done with 5, and take it nice and slow, there's no rush, we'll switch. Whew. I don't know about y'all, I'm already feeling it. I'll stay facing this way so you guys can see what's up. Again, tuck the pelvis, that's a huge part of this. So I'm actively squeezing my glute and my quad in the back leg. You might find that one ankle has less mobility than the other. It's very normal. I'm going to take you guys through another secret recipe of mine to get into that and hopefully relieve some of that tightness after these 5 reps. Two more. Final one. And fantastic. Okay, before we get into that calf work that we're about to do, where did everyone say they're from? Did anyone comment it? I don't want to waste my time looking too much. All right, also let me know if you have any questions. I will scan it every few minutes to make sure that I'm hitting those questions. All right, so as I said, for those of you who have some tight ankles, maybe one ankle is tighter than the other, I have a little trick for you. And I've always used the handle of my competition kettlebell by Kettlebell Kings to do this. So you're gonna sit on the floor, you're gonna put the calf in question up on the handle of the kettlebell. Find a spot, so just kind of survey it, rolling right to left. And when you find one, bear into it, either just with this one, or you can lift your hip off the ground, and you're gonna flex and extend your ankle. This is called pin and stretch. For those of you who have done soft tissue work with foam rollers or maybe a Theragun, pin and stretch and cross bridging are 2 big techniques to basically pull the fascia through the point that we're pressing into. And I'm not super crazy about doing SMR, but this one in particular is very awesome, mostly because I used to have a really bad foot injury and I couldn't walk at all. So this one really saved me. And it wasn't really a foot injury, it was a calf tightness issue. So this is gonna help you guys relieve that ankle mobility issues a lot. All right, so once you get into that, you can do the other side, look for a spot. You're probably gonna have spots in both calves, whether you realize it or not. So you wanna give both of them a little bit of love. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut it off there because I wanna get into the workout. So we have cleans. We have a hang squat clean as well, and a front rack reverse lunge to a knee drive. So we've got a little bit of balance in there as well as unilateral work with the bell. So what we're gonna be doing is going through the dead clean, kind of learning the components of it, some building blocks for it to kind of clean it up, no pun intended. And then we're going to go into the complex itself. So we're gonna start kind of with the skill building / strength portion. So let's start with the kettlebell in between your feet. Feet are gonna be about shoulder width apart. And let's start with your left hand, I've got my left side on the front for you guys. And we're gonna start with your chest loaded over the bell. So I'm in a hip hinge position, just about like this, okay? We're gonna put the hand on the kettlebell to press the shoulder blade. And from there, we're rowing to the inside of your leg, turning neutral and pulling back down to that dead position. Just do 5 reps on this side, and then we'll switch. Cool. Our next building block is going to be the gunslinger. So it is going to be that row and a hip hinge combined. So what we're going to do is time it up perfectly so that the row happens as we extend the hip. So we want the legs to do the majority of the work. The arm is just guiding the bell where we want it to go. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to catch underneath the bell. Butt of the bell is facing forward. And then I'm going to pull back down to the dead position and repeat. I'd like you guys to be a little bit more squatty and upright on this one, as we're going to be using it, obviously, to get into those cleans, which are more of an upright motion, thinking of jumping stance. All right, so we're going to do 5 reps. Go ahead and then switch to the other side. Thinking of the legs doing the work, and then the arm guiding the bell back. Hand will be in a pronated grip on the floor, neutral at the top. Butt of the bell facing forward, no taller than that. It's a very important part. All right. When we get done with that, we're going to do an assisted clean. So the assisted clean is going to be the gunslinger. I'm catching, and then I'm going to guide the bell out and around my forearm as I punch up into the front rack position. So it's going to look like this. I'm going to guide it out, knuckles up to heaven in my front rack position, and then come back down. Gunslinger, guide around, up to the front rack, and back down. Elbow should be underneath the body of the bell. Body of the bell should be kind of on your bicep area. Depends on if you're using a competition bell or a cast iron bell. In fact, I have a little one over there I might grab, but if you're using a cast iron one, oh, sorry, I did the entire thing. It should still be touching your bicep area, maybe not quite as much as the competition bell, but go ahead and do 5 reps per side. So again, catching for the gunslinger, guiding around up to the front rack, and coming back down. All right, we're almost there. So now we're going to be trying to do the full dead clean. So dead meaning from that dead position on the floor. Clean meaning it is moving from point A to point B without any stops. So it's going to be smooth. We're going to still go through all those checkpoints though. We're going to be rowing. And at that floating point, the apex of that pull, that's when we're going to sneak underneath the bell. So make sure you are pulling back to then punch up. It's going to keep the bell close to your midline so it doesn't feel heavy or get slammy. This is the secret to making it smooth. So again, sitting fairly upright in our kind of squatty hinge position, I'm rowing back, punching underneath, and come back down. Go ahead and try to do 5. If you're on a heavier bell, you might come up onto your toes. Try to be as explosive as possible, within reason. Now, I will say this. I come from more of an Olympic weightlifting background, so I meet the bell where it's at, in that if it's super light, I don't need to be jumping out of the gym. However, that probably means that you need a heavier bell if you're not having to exert yourself like that, because at the end of the day, we want to move as powerfully and explosively as possible. It's what's going to make us stronger. So if you feel like the bell is way too light, you have a heavier one at your disposal, now's the time to practice with it. So I'm going to go ahead and do my 12 on my other side, which is just going to require me to give it a little more juice. That's what we want. Again, jumping, explosive, on the way up, letting your legs do the work, rowing back, punching underneath, as we have that window of opportunity to do that. Any questions? We've got one more kind of clean to go over before we get into the complex. So our final clean, it's kind of two. We're gonna do our hang clean. So it is exactly as it sounds, from a hang position. So from floating off of the floor, I'm gonna teach you guys just below the knee for that. You can really, lots of different hang positions you could pull from. But we're gonna go from about here, and we're going to catch in that standing up position. And then we're gonna do the same into a squat clean. So from the hang, I want you to get set up here and then lift off the ground a few inches. From here, clean. Come back down to the floor. Lift, clean. You're gonna find that you really have to give it a lot in your legs because you don't have as much room to work with. It's a lot faster, a lot less time to get underneath the bell. So you have to move even faster, more explosively. Go ahead and do 5 reps. I'm resetting at the dead and then resetting into the hang. You could just come back down to the hang if you want. Now I'm gonna say one other thing about these hang cleans. If you find that you've got a lot of slack in your arm when you're pulling from the floor, the hang clean is a really awesome way to clean that up because you can't really have slack in your arm if you're already off the ground. So, and I shout out Sam if you're watching. She and I were talking about this with her snatches. Just at the last second, she was sitting lower, so it was yanking on her arm, and she was dealing with some forearm pain. And that's because her grip was having to jump in for the slack that was in her arm to kind of make up for it. So if you find that you're not depressing the shoulder blade and starting this with tension, I have a hard time like showing the wrong way because it hurts. But let me see if I can do it. There. So if you find that you're doing that, really great way to clean it up is just go ahead and start from here, because then you can't have that slack. So once you've done 5 per side, awesome. Let's go on to the squat clean. So let's actually practice this from the dead, not the hang, and then we'll touch on that after. So the squat clean, the point of it is to get under the bell without having to lift it super high. This makes me think of my Olympic weightlifting. I still want to get an extension, a full extension of my hip, but I don't want to have to lift the bar or the bell super high to get under it. So catching in a squat is a great way to do that. Now, I do find that some people skip that hip extension, and it ends up being there, which is technically, if you can lift it, you can do it. I like to give it, that's loud. I like to give it a little bit more extension than that. So I'm going to be catching a little bit more in a power, just so that I can get my hips involved. I'm not going to judge you either way. You can do it either way, whether you want to be so fast that you're getting under the bell without really even standing up, that's cool. Or if you want to give it more extension and then use the weight of that bell as leverage to pull yourself underneath, that's cool too. So go ahead and practice your squat clean on both sides, 5 reps, and then we'll get into the complex. I'm going to check for questions and comments. Anyone? I'm just going to scroll back a little bit, see if there's anything. Since y'all aren't commenting, you must be doing the workout. You're too busy working. Looks good. All right, it's time. So what we're going to do is we're not going to totally be on a timer. There is one component that will be, the rest. But in terms of your working sets. I'm going to give kind of an open amount of time because we're actually going to climb in reps and then descend. So that's going to be different for everyone. So I would suggest have a timer close by, either the Seconds app or just your normal iPhone timer or whatever device you use. And we're going to have rest for a minute in between each round. It's going to be 5 rounds total. We're going to have a dead clean, a hang squat clean. We're going to keep the belt in the front rack position. We're going to have 3 reverse lunge knee drives. Come back down to the floor, repeat on the other side. That's round 1. We are then going to have some B-side kick-throughs, which we're going to learn in the moment in round 1. We'll have our rest for a minute, and we'll be doing that 5 rounds. So just rest here, about 30 more seconds, and we'll get into it. I'm going to get this music going again. All right. Let's see here. All right, let's go. SoundCloud. Okay, so again, dead clean, hang squat clean, and then keep the bell in the front rack position for 3 reverse lunge knee drives. The leg that's staying planted is on the same side as the one holding the bell, all right? So whichever side has the load on it, that foot's staying there. We're bringing the other one back for reverse lunge knee drive, which we're great at now because we did all that single leg work in the beginning. So let's do it. Round 1. This is turned off. It's all right. I'm just going to go without music. It's probably for the best. Here we go. Dead clean. I'm going to call all these out as we go, okay? Bell in between your feet, feet shoulder width apart. Dead clean. 3, 2, 1. Dead clean. Hang, squat clean. Straighten out your feet. Left foot goes back. Reverse lunge, knee drive. 3 reps. Bring the bell to the floor. Repeat on the other side. Dead clean. Hang, squat clean. Straighten out the feet. Right foot back. Reverse lunge, knee drive. Bring the bell down. Now, we have 5 per side for beast to side kick through. Beast position is tabletop with your knees floating off the ground. So we're here, knees are floating off the ground, hand is just below my chest. I'm gonna pick up my right foot and kick straight across. Left arm is gonna elevate as I kick across. Come back to the center and repeat on the other side. Keep your stance short as you do this. Your feet are gonna wanna walk away. The problem is it's gonna make it really hard to balance yourself and to support yourself in that side kick through. Once you've done 5 per side, we've got rest. I'm just gonna have y'all work off my timer if that's cool. So we are resting for a minute and then we'll be back in. During that minute, ask me questions. Say hello. Or any of my Kettle Club crew in here. Make yourself known. Hey, YouTube. Okay. Let me read these comments. Yay, Atlanta. So I'll be honest, I've never gone live on YouTube before. So sorry, I'm a noob here. You're welcome for the clear instruction and demonstration of technique. I am all about it. And I will say, everyone ends up having their own way that they teach. This just happens to be the way that I've found works well with a lot of the people that I've coached, both in my class and my program. So, you know, I think every time we listen to a new coach, we can gather a few little extra coaching cue nuggets that work well. And you guys might hate the other half of what I say. And that's okay too. Okay, round 2, it's time. We're doing 2%. So we're gonna do all those moves on the right, bring it down, do them all on the left, and then repeat right and left again. Let's get it going. Right hand on the bell, dead clean. 3, 2, 1, dead clean. Hang, squat clean. Straighten out the feet, reverse lunge, knee drive. Remember, loaded leg stays planted. Bring it down, other side, dead clean. Hang, squat clean. Straighten out the feet, right leg back. Reverse lunge, knee drive. One more time each side, dead clean. Hang, squat clean. Straighten out the feet, reverse lunge, knee drive, 3 reps. Left side, dead clean. Hang, squat clean. Straighten out the feet, right leg back, 3 reps. And rest. Kind of. We now have 5 per side of our beast side kick throughs. Doesn't have to be fast. I actually prefer these to be slower, personally. I like to use them for the mobility aspect more than the cardio. When you get done with 5, rest. We got about a minute. I'm coming back. Let's see what y'all are saying. Yeah, this is a really good complex to do with either a lightweight or a heavyweight. I'm using something in the middle. And if you are using a super heavyweight, maybe you don't ascend in rounds. Maybe you keep it to 1 round or 2 rounds per side, and you just keep going with that. Or if you've got a light bell, maybe starting with 3 rounds per side and ascending that way. How should we hold the kettlebell when doing snatch or clean? I like to coach holding in the thumb corner, but that's going to depend on your coach. I personally think it feels the most comfortable because of how the bell lays across the forearm. I'll show that really quick before we start round 3. So, all right. So the kettlebell, when holding in the thumb corner and holding across, the bell is going to go across my forearm like that. Show YouTube. It's on 2 different planes here. So I'm holding in the thumb corner. Bell goes across my forearm and lays really nicely. If I hold in the middle, it kind of goes straight down, which is not as comfortable. So that's one thing. I will say for snatches, I tend to not hold as much in the corner. I tend to hold a little bit more in the center. But it also just kind of depends on what I'm doing. If I'm doing a ton of hand switches, that might not be the case. I might end up actually holding in the pinky corner. So, experiment. I'm all about that. All right, round 3 is going to be the most rounds. So we've got 3 reps, or 3 rounds per side. So we're going to have all that on the right, all that on the left, times 3. Let's do it. Dead clean in 3, 2, 1, dead clean. Hang, squat clean. Straighten out the feet, reverse lunge, knee drive. 3 reps. Pull it down, left side. Hang, squat clean. Reverse lunge, knee drive. Ooh. Here's round 2. Dead clean. Hang, squat clean. Reverse lunge, knee drive. Left side, dead clean. Hang, squat clean. Reverse lunge, knee drive. Third and final, dead clean. Hang, squat clean. Reverse lunge, knee drive. dead clean. Hang, squat clean. This is it. 3 reps. Woo. B-side kick through. 5 per side. Woo. All right, take a breather for a minute. Round 4, we're gonna go back down to 2 rounds per side. So, shout out Casey if you're watching right now. It's one of my clients in my program. She's awesome. This is when she goes heavier. So she'll grab her 20 kilo and do 2 rounds per side and finish with 1 round per side, probably doing a 24. Because she's a wild woman. Ask me questions if you have them. I can talk all day long. So if you've got any questions about anything, I am happy to discuss. We got 20 seconds left. Then we're gonna have 2 per side. Getting close to the end. And you've had enough of me at this point. Just a little bit more. Apologize for the breathing. I had like 3 workouts yesterday, so I'm a little tired and sore today. Okay, here we go. 2 rounds per side. I want you guys to literally jump off the floor for every clean, especially the dead clean, that first one. And then for the squat clean, be really aggressive getting under it. Drive that elbow up underneath. Don't let the bell pull you forward. You own the bell. Be the bell. Here's whatever you want to think of. Here we go. 2 per side. Right hand. 3, 2, 1. Dead clean. Hang. Squat clean. 3. Reverse lunge knee drive. Grip the floor with your toes. Stay on the outside of your foot. That will help immensely with your balance. Left side. Other reason I keep saying straighten out your feet, it's really hard to balance on a foot that's turned out because you're not going to have even distribution of your weight. Back to the right side one more time. So straightening out the feet, gripping with all of your toes, staying on the outside of the foot. Left side. Don't let those toes lift. They drive your entire leg. They tell your leg what to do. Rest. 5 per side. On the B side, kick through. Minute rest. We got 1 more round, and then we cool it down. I'm assuming y'all are doing great. I know I am. Questions? I got answers. Oh, I never opened up my 16 kilo. Darn. That's okay. I'll use it later. All right. Well, I have had fun with y'all. I'm excited. Let's get back into this last round. And then we'll have cool down, which will feel familiar to what we started with. Just a little bit different breathing. And then it'll be sayonara. Till next time. Okay. 1 round per side. As explosive as possible. Do not fall over on the reverse lunges. Make those like robotic. Okay? Statuesque as you're standing there with your knee up in the air. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Dead clean. Hey, squat clean. 3, reverse lunge, knee drive. Left side, last one. Reverse lunge, knee drive. Make them count. Final reps. That is it for the kettlebell. B-side kick through. Done. Whew, awesome. Okay, I'm going to bring you guys a little closer. We're going to do our cool down now. All right. It is time to bring down this heart rate. Excellent work. I called it a leg workout. It was full body. I tricked you. That's the thing about kettlebells that I love, is in order to hold them, especially offset load, you gotta use your whole body. So it's just more efficient. And as much as I love working out, I do it all day long with demonstration. So for my own workouts, I want them to be short and sweet. So efficiency is the way for me. Let's get back into tabletop. Let's do cat-cow, nasal breathing if you can. It's gonna help bring down your heart rate. 5 cat-cows. After that 5th one, I want you to walk your hands forward and sit back into child's pose with your hands a little bit wider than they were, about the width of your mat, if you have a mat. From there, we're gonna tuck your pelvis and roll forward to cat. Continue rolling forward until your hips come down to the ground. Squeeze your shoulder blades down and back and look up. From there, tuck your chin, press yourself away from the floor for your shoulders. Get into that concave position in your chest. So in cat, and roll back to child's pose. Do this 2 more times. I'm gonna show you guys a side profile. Tuck as much as you can. An upside down U. And then squeeze the shoulder blades down and back to open up the chest. Long neck. Tuck the chin. We're moving vertebrae by vertebrae as we push back. 1 more. Awesome. All right, back into tabletop position. We're gonna put your right hand in front for a single arm child's pose. So we're gonna sit back. This arm is our focus, the one that's in front. Pressing your chest toward the floor, getting into that lat. Come back up, do the same on the other side. Now come back up to tabletop. So hands are stacked below your shoulders. I want your right hand in front of your left, and then turn your palm open. So we're on the knife edge of your hand. From there, keep this arm locked out, and I want you to rotate your shoulder toward the floor. So we're not sitting back, we're just rotating. So a little thoracic rotation, and feeling even more of a stretch in our lat. Come back to the top, do the same on the other side. All right, lay on your stomachs, arms out. We've got another floor scorpion, 1 on each side. Especially with offset load work like we just did, your QLs, so lower back, are gonna maybe be a little tighter sore. Same with your obliques. So I like to do a lot of thoracic rotation in the mobility warm up and the cool down, just because you might get a few spine pops out of it. All right, hug your knee into your chest. Let's do supine twist. Left knee is in your chest, left arm is out to the side. Pull your knee across your body. And we'll do the same on the other side. Sweet. That's the thing about me. If you ask me about anything we do, I always got a reason for it. Mindful programming. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This was fun. I'm going to be doing this with Kettlebell Kings once a month on Tuesdays at noon. So usually every 4 weeks, unless there's some issue with my schedule or theirs. But I think you guys can expect me the week of Thanksgiving. Or I'm not Thanksgiving, the week of Halloween. That's the first holiday coming up. So the week of Halloween, I believe, is my next live. So I would love for you guys to join. It again will be on Tuesday at 12 Eastern. And I'll see you guys then. I'm going to end this one first because I know how to, and then I'll get to YouTube in a second. Bye, guys. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Yeah. My Instagram name is mcontifitness. So if you guys would like to join me over there, I would love to have you. I'll see you guys.